Naspers is a multinational media giant with stakes in internet businesses in emerging markets, pay TV and print media. The group's most significant assets are 35% of Chinese internet company Tencent and wholly owned DSTV MultiChoice in Africa. Naspers has a market cap of 223 billion rand, a price-to-earnings ratio of 41.6 and a dividend yield of 0.6%. Now, how does Naspers play into this whole education theme that we're looking at?
That's because on a weekend, if you sit and watch TV, especially the sport, from the beginning of the weekend to the end, is highly educational. It's going to improve your IQ enormously. So therefore, super sport is clearly a huge contributor to education in our great nation.
Is it? Do you see it that way, Rob?
Oh, I mean, that's a nice way to look at it. Obviously, they can go into education being online. Mainly with Tencent in China, it's gaming at the moment. Can they extend that into education? Yes, they can. So they do have a platform to do that. Whether they will do it and how successful it will be, we'll have to wait and see. But really, it's a players. Do you count on the Chinese consumer with Tencent? And for me, it's a great story, and really like Naspers.
And on the African continent, Paul, you've got your DSTV and MultiChoice, which is their cash cow at this stage.
Yeah, and you know, MultiChoice has been used, the platform for the distribution of educational content, the programs, you know, close to matric time, the supplementary education. You get the dedicated bouquets where you can actually use MultiChoice as an educational partner, and then you can key into the channel at a particular time and watch lectures and so on and so forth. So that's kind of why it's here. They're also quite significantly involved in their print business, in the printing of books and textbooks.
That's how we're doing it.
You know, it is a contribution. We know textbooks in this country is a bit of a sore topic because they don't always get to where they're supposed to be. Somehow in this country, South Africa, we find a way to get a cold Coke to every spaza shop in all four corners of the country, but to get a sandwich or a textbook to a school is for some reason a massive problem. But you know, as far as the Naspers business is concerned, it's a relatively small part of the total company. Of course, I mean, Naspers, I think, is one of the best investment opportunities available on our market, but not only for this reason.
So quality investments, what are you doing with the stock currently, Rob?
We're still buying. It's had a very good run in the last few weeks. So a little bit priced at the moment, maybe looking for a short pullback. But long term, we really like the Chinese story with Tencent and Mail.ru. So we are still buyers at the moment. We like the stock a lot.
Paul?
Yeah, it's been a fascinating story because since Koos Becker really got going with the globalization strategy, the Tencent investment dwarfs all of the others because that was a 35% stake taken in a business in China which just exploded in terms of its visibility and its revenues, and it's a great business run by Chinese people. It's well integrated. You know, in China that they don't allow certain foreign web services like Facebook and Google to operate there, and Twitter. So that's why Tencent, which is a market leader with its chat application QQ, which is similar to Mixit, and all of its search services and all of that stuff, is such a formidable player. And in fact, it has the second largest market cap of any internet company on the planet after Google. So that's huge, but they've got all these other similar businesses in all these other countries. You know, Eastern Europe, they've got big stake in a big business in Turkey. They've built businesses in Brazil and India. So where they're positioning themselves is the preeminent investment holding company of internet and e-commerce related businesses in the emerging markets. And I think at some point down the line, whether it's 5, 10 or 15 years time, that's going to be a fantastic place to be, and they're going to be in a position to do deals with the likes of the Googles and the Apples and the Amazons of the world.
And they've also got a bit of a stake in Facebook. Well, that's through Mail.ru of Russia. Yes,
I mean, they did sell a lot of that portion in the listing Mail.ru. I'm not sure exactly what the holding is left in Facebook. But you know, they made a really good investment there, and they did offload quite a lot of that, and maybe looking for a special dividend coming out of Mail.ru.
Hot or not, Paul? Naspers?
Yes, and you know, we shouldn't overlook the real cash flow generative power of the DSTV MultiChoice business as well, because that's got the preeminent position in pay TV in Africa, the only continent, as we know, which has still got, you know, positive population growth. And I think they're going to continue to deepen that. If you see the way that they've outsold their initial estimates in terms of pay TV in this country, the same is going to happen across the rest of the African continent. So I think it's hot on both fronts, and certainly even above 500 Rand a share, definitely hot for me.
Hot or not, Rob?
Absolutely hot for me.
So two hots on Naspers.